Ernestino Leon among the debris removed from his family's flood-damaged home in Bonita Springs, FLA. The average wait for a FEMA inspection is about a month in Florida, and 45 days in Texas, agency officials said. Scott McIntyre for The New York Times. Want to get this briefing by email? Here's the sign-up. Good morning. Here's what you need to know. Capitol gridlock ensnares Russia inquiries. 9 months into the Trump administration, any notion that Capitol Hill would provide a comprehensive, authoritative and bipartisan accounting of the extraordinary efforts of a hostile power to disrupt American democracy appears to be dwindling. That's our reporter Nicholas Fandos on the status of the 3 congressional committees looking into Moscow's interference in the presidential election. At the root of the panel's problems, this is politics, one lawmaker said. Representative Trey Gowdy, right, Republican of South Carolina, in Washington last year. He is a member of the House Intelligence Committee, one of 3 congressional panels investigating Russian interference in the 2016 election. Al Drageth, New York Times industry insider, led a shift at the EPA under the Trump administration. The Environmental Protection Agency is changing the way the government evaluates risks associated with hazardous chemicals, making procedures more aligned with industry wishes. A major investigation by our reporter Eric Lipton is part of a series examining the reshaping of regulations under President Trump. Separately, the EPA canceled an appearance today by 3 of its scientists at a conference on climate change. FEMA's response to Hurricanes Harvey and Irma has frustrated victims in Texas and Florida, where the wait times for a helpline and inspections far exceed those during past disasters. Resources are stretched, particularly when it comes to inspections, said Brock Longthick, the administrator of the agency. Obviously it's frustrating. The Times also combined an analysis of satellite images with on-the-ground surveys to provide a more complete picture of the spread of the deadly wildfire in Santa Rosa, Calif. A long-delayed reckoning for sexual harassment allegations. The Times reported this weekend that Bill O'Reilly had paid a $32 million settlement to a former analyst at Fox News, which then renewed his contract. For Mr. O'Reilly and the movie producer Harvey Weinstein, accusations of sexual harassment and other abuse are not new. But the public is just now learning about them. Our media reporter, Jim Rudenberg, explains why a big reason for the delay has to do with the out-of-court settlements and the non-disclosure agreements that go with them. Where the blame falls in Spain, you need mistakes on both sides to get entangled in such a difficult and undesirable situation. A professor in Madrid was one of several experts who spread responsibility for the increasingly tense standoff over Catalonia's drive for independence. The central government said on Saturday that it would remove the Catalan leadership. Our reporter Rafael Minder writes from Barcelona that the crisis is the result of years of miscalculations all around, which have now left not only Catalans but all Spaniards facing a grave challenge to the democratic consensus of the country. Demonstrators in Barcelona, Spain, protested on Saturday the central government's move to dismiss Catalonia's secessionist leaders. Emilio Morinati, Associated Press. The Daily, your audio news report. In today's show, the former Fox News host Bill O'Reilly discussed the sexual harassment allegations that cost him his job. Listen on a computer, an iOS device or an Android device. Business as shopping has shifted online, vast warehouses have fueled a job boom for workers without college degrees and breathed life into pockets of the U.S. that had fallen behind. A warehouse used by the online retailer Zulily in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Sam Hodgson for The New York Times. Earnings reports by European banks, tech giants and big oil companies are among the headlines to watch this week. U.S. stocks were up on Friday. Here's a snapshot of global markets. Smarter living dips, both new and old, for a more fulfilling life. When a word is on the tip of your tongue but you just can't think of it, here's why and more. In this week's Smarter Living newsletter, get a jump on next season's fashion trends. Recipe of the day: find perfection in a perfectly cooked katsudon, a Japanese pork cutlet rice bowl. Over the weekend, the party of Prime Minister Shinzo Abe won big in parliamentary elections in Japan, bolstering his hopes of revising the nation's pacifist constitution. President Trump announced that he would not block the release of a final batch of documents related to the 1963 assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The World Series begins Tuesday in Los Angeles, where the Dodgers will face the Houston Astros. Our baseball columnist explains the Astros' Game 7 victory over the New York Yankees, a team whose future is both clear and bright. Justin Timberlake will perform during halftime at the Super Bowl, 14 years after the infamous wardrobe malfunction involving Janet Jackson. Here's what else happened Sunday in the NFL. David Letterman accepted the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor on Sunday night. I am now the most humorous person in the world. Tyler Perry's Boo to a Madea Halloween earned $21.7 million at North American box offices to give Mr. Perry his sixth #1 opening. The five living former U.S. presidents, from left, Jimmy Carter, George Bush, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, appeared at a benefit concert in College Station, Texas, on Saturday. The event raised money for hurricane recovery efforts. Richard Carson Reuters noteworthy a psychedelic indoor park. In today's 360 video, step inside the House of Eternal Return, an immersive art installation in Santa Fe. NMI was willing to do everything. The mothers of college-age men who have been accused of sexual misconduct have become some of their sons' most potent advocates in the debate about how campuses deal with the issue. Cub Scout is removed after questioning lawmaker. Ames Mayfield, 11, was kicked out of his den after asking a Colorado state senator why she would not support common-sense gun laws. Quotation of the day: "Clearly, we can't leave things of value inside the church because there will always be scoundrels around." The Rev. Paolo Pollin, on a 16th-century statue of the Archangel Michael in Monteroduni, Italy, that is locked up at night now after it was recovered from thieves. Backstory: they're 2 inches tall and very German. They're blue and live deep in the forest. That's how the Times eventually introduced its readers to the Smurfs, a cartoon and merchandising series that first appeared in a European comic magazine on this day in 1958. A Smurf balloon during the Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York in 2008. Jeff Christensen, Associated Press. The Smurfs were the work of the Belgian cartoonist Pierre Culliford, who worked under the pseudonym Peo. At first, the gnome-like characters played a secondary role as Shroomfs in another comic series, but they soon had their own albums and movies. Here's a detailed history. In the U.S., they gained popularity under their Dutch name, the Smurfs, becoming a perennial pop culture reference after a Saturday morning TV show began airing in 1981. Now, there's the concept of smurfing among computer gamers, referring to skilled practitioners who play anonymously. In the banking industry, smurfing is a term for a money launderer. There's also the 1980s breakdance style and even Smurf conspiracy theories. 6 years ago, a village in Spain agreed to have all of its buildings painted blue to celebrate the premiere of a Smurf movie. The publicity stunt worked, turning the sleepy settlement into a tourist attraction. Patrick Bowler contributed reporting. Your morning briefing is published weekdays at 6 a.m. Eastern and updated all morning. Browse past briefings here. If photographs appear out of order, please download the updated New York Times app from iTunes or Google Play. What would you like to see here? Contact us at briefing@nytimes.com. You can get the briefing delivered to your inbox Sunday through Friday. We have 4 global editions, timed for the Americas, Europe, Asia and Australia. Check out our full range of free newsletters here.